Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever time of the day you're listening to this. And this is V005 Times with Daniel, and welcome to today's episode. And we are going to be talking about everybody's favorite thing to talk about today, the talking stage. Okay, so hi everybody. First off, I want to say thank you to those who have been following my podcast for the past couple of weeks. Thank you guys so very much for the consistency. Thank you for the listens. Thank you for the feedback. Some of you are, giving me feedback. And as always, I always appreciate feedback. I love to hear what you think. Know what you think, you understand, hear your own views and responses to the things I say. So if you're using the Anchor app, you can just send me a voice message. I always reply. Or you can just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. The handle is at Daniel Briggs. Yes, I combined both of them to be the same thing now. At Daniel Briggs, that's at Daniel Briggz. So without further ado, let's do further. So now we are talking about the talking stage, right? Personally, this is how I define the talking stage. The talking stage is a period of time, a short period of time where you have a conversation that decides whether you are going to be committing to a relationship or not, or entering the commitment stage of a relationship, or the beginning phases of a commitment to a relationship. You get the gist basically. And the funny thing is, I didn't get to know about this phrase until like a couple of weeks ago. That's like 2-3 weeks ago. So I don't know whether to classify myself under the living under a rock group or totally oblivious group. Anyway, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Yeah, I'm sure. I guess. Anyway, moving on. Now, when I was about to record this, I actually went online to just see what various people were talking about the talking stage, because it's good to have various perspectives to it. There are two things I noticed. First off, majorly only girls were talking about the talking stage, and in my head I was like, where are all the guys? Is it that we don't talk or we don't enjoy conversation and stuff like that? Which is not true. I know a lot of guys that enjoy conversation. And the second thing I noticed is that talking stage is usually just basically about romantic relationships. Who you're going to be dating and all that kind of stuff, which is fair, fine, and totally applicable in that stage, because I think that's where it was even brought from, the talking stage, where you get to talk with the guy or talk with the girl to know whether what's up, are we doing this, are we getting together, or are we just going to friend zone, or just be distant acquaintances. You understand? It's actually a very, very important stage, and I think it's a stage that is not just important for romantic relationships, but also relationships like friendships. Because the funny thing I've noticed is, when people talk about relationships most of the time, when people talk about all those kind of things, it only boils down to romantic relationships. We tend to neglect the friendship side of things. And here's a philosophy should I call it a philosophy? I think it's just something a principle I kind of go by. The kind of person you are in your friendships also dictate the kind of person you be in your romantic relationships. Like, how good are you to your friends? How do you communicate with your friends? All those kind of things. Do you care for them and all those kind of things? I think those things matter a lot in determining, what kind of person, at least, let's just say 50% of insights to what kind of person you'll be in a romantic relationship. You understand? And because here's the funny thing, most people don't have multiple personalities in real life. On social media we might, but because it's social media, but in real life most people don't have multiple personalities. So usually the kind of person you are to your friends and to your families will usually be the kind of person you are in your romantic relationships. Maybe just a little bit extra. You understand? But that's basically it. Anyway, enough of the preamble. Talking stage. I was listening to Precious Gaza. I think that's her name. She's at Precious Gaza. You can find her on Twitter and Instagram. She puts out great content and great advices. That woman is awesome. Salem King is he's doing well. He's doing well. Okay. She said something. She said communication is important to relationships. Communication is important to every relationship, no matter what kind of relationship you want to be in. If you don't communicate with your friends, if you don't communicate with your family members, if you don't communicate with your boo-boo darling, yeah, things probably are not going to go well as you want them to. You understand? So communication is, and when she was talking about the talking stage, she said, and I quote, communicate your expectations and avoid being in the talking stage forever. Again, communicate your expectations and avoid being in the talking stage forever. And I think that quote basically embodies what the entire essence of the talking stage is meant to be. It's meant to be a stage where you communicate desires, where you communicate principles, where you communicate expectations. Not just for your romantic relationships, but for your friendships. People be out here in the streets acting like as if, friendships are, birthed in a day or stuff like that. No, usually I found out that what most people think is a friendship is usually just, like close acquaintance or something like that. Most people have very, very low numbers of friends. But usually when you ask them, who are your friends, they name like 10,000 people. But usually out of 10,000 people, maybe just 10 is their friend. Their friends, sorry. So, like talking stage, everybody has expectations for every relationship. Whether it's a employer-employee relationship, whether it's a pastor and, church member relationship, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, whether it's a friend with benefit and just friend relationship, even with any kind of relationship usually that involves communication, there's always expectations. You are going to the movies, you have expectations. You are following somebody on Instagram, you have expectations for what that person will be posting and all those kind of things. So every relationship comes with expectations. That's why I think every relationship comes with the talking stage. Yeah, now I can't fully explain that in every aspect of relationship because that would be a little bit premature and foolish of me to do because I'm not an expert on every single kind of relationship or any relationship. I'm just offering my 2 cents here. Anyway, talking about friendships, let's talk about friendships because there's a lot of content out there talking about relationships, which I'll get to eventually. But let's talk about friendships a little bit. Now, making a friend can be really hard. It doesn't matter whether you're outgoing, whether you're outgoing or ingoing. Don't mind me. It doesn't matter whether you're an extrovert or a introvert or a combination of both of them, which I've forgotten what it's called. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor, whether you are fine or ugly, whether you are thin or fat, whether you are gay, bisexual, lesbian or straight or pansexual or asexual or whatever sexual. But it doesn't matter whether you're Christian or Muslim. Making friends, establishing relationships is actually quite difficult to do. Sometimes you meet somebody and both of you click immediately. Like the click is so mad. Like it's almost like as if you guys were best friends for so long. And then you meet some people and it's very, very awkward at the beginning stages. And usually it's very, very understandable. It's actually quite understandable because when you meet new people, not everybody has a desire to communicate. Like Gaza said, he said another problem a lot of people come to her with is the unwillingness of their partner's part to communicate. And although this was referencing a romantic relationship kind of thing, but I think it also boils down to friendships. Sometimes you get into a new place, you get to a new crowd, you meet a new neighbor, and then you want to do the godly thing, the friendly thing, the Christian thing, or the Muslim thing. And you want to be, at least acquaintances or friendly or, just establish a relationship and see where it goes from there. And then, this person is rigid, frigid, all the closed up and boxed up versions of themselves that they could be. And you find it hard to navigate within that. And usually that's what the talking stage actually exists for. Communicate your expectations. Now, I'm not saying you meet somebody new and be like, okay, my friends always need to visit me every Saturday, not every Saturday, okay, let me restart. My friends need to visit me 2 Saturdays in every 2 months. You call me only on Friday night. You text me every morning asking me how I am, and then in the afternoon we chat for an hour. Anything apart from that, you can't be my friend. You're invading my privacy and everything. And also you're like, yeah, all my friends need to be going to the gym. I can't be friend. No. That's not what I am talking about. Calm down. Wow, that went okay. Calm down. Okay, this is basically it. When you meet somebody new, it's awkward talking to most people at first. You understand? And it's awkward asking particular questions. It's awkward asking, asking where do you stay? Are you Christian or Muslim? Something like that. Because I'm Christian, and I believe in every relationship I'm going to be forming, the fact that I'm a Christian, a believer in Christ, must come first. So which means I cannot fully establish relationships that have the potential to derail my devotion to God and my commitment to the gospel. So which means I have principles that I choose friends by, and I am not shy about them. And that's another problem with talking stage. I think a lot of people are not comfortable establishing the principles that they live by with other people, which I think is actually counterproductive, because if these are the principles that you choose to live by, then you should be able to freely communicate them to anybody, and also freely abide by them even in awkward situations. Like, I'm somebody who is known for his flexibility and patience, you understand. No topic is, for me, almost, I would say no topic is off the table. There's nothing I can't talk about with anybody. There's no topic, no matter how controversial or how uncomfortable it is, that I cannot address. But I don't just do that with anybody I meet. The first things first, you talk about minor things, surface things, you understand, and then little by little, maybe after a day, after 2 days, you understand, I talk a little bit about, okay, how, I ask questions like, how will you describe your day going? You understand? What are your interests? All those kind of things. You don't just ask these things for romantic relationships. You ask them for friendships too. You understand? Ask them. Ask them. And matters of faith are important in every relationship. So ask them, are you Christian or Muslim? You understand? So because if they are Muslim or Christian, you want to evangelize, because I know Muslims evangelize, Christians evangelize. You want to evangelize at some point if you are somebody who takes the gospel far and wide. So you want to know that beforehand, so that somewhere along the line, if you guys form a relationship, you will feel comfortable to do that. You want to ask various other kind of things too. You understand, like what do you like to do for fun? You understand, what kind of people do you hang around with? What kind of, and these aren't, I'm not saying these are questions you really ask directly. I'm not saying these are the things you want to know before you decide, okay, this person can be my friend. You understand? You saw something on Twitter, you understand? Bring up a topic, you understand? A topic that addresses giving, a topic that addresses service, a topic that addresses, the person's social views on masculinity or femininity or sex, or different kind of things. You want to know some of these things beforehand before you fully commit to a relationship, whether it is friendship or a romantic kind of relationship. Because I don't know about you, but my friendship matters. The people I have friends with, it matters. The kind of people I roll with, the kind of people I go to when I'm feeling down, the kind of people I look to for encouragement, the kind of people I look to for support, the kind of people I look to for advice, the kind of people I call up when I am broke. All these things matter to me. And while I am not expecting that my friends are going to be people that I totally agree with, I have this friend, Sheon Alabi. We argue on so many things. Doesn't mean we don't agree on a lot, but we argue on so many things. We have different views on how the Christian doctrine should be looked at and all that kind of things. And I noticed early on that he's the kind of person that I can argue with and no bad blood will be established between the both of us. And I am perfectly happy with that, and hence why he is my friend. I will not be friends with somebody who I cannot have a amicable disagreement with. Neither will I go into a relationship with somebody who I notice is always defensive when you call her out on something. And these are things you notice during the talking stage. Mind you, your talking stage should not be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years kind of thing. At that point, just go to the mountain and pray. Sincerely, go to the mountain and pray. Because why will your talking stage last that long? No, sincerely. Fathom me this. Why will your talking stage last 2 years, 3 years? Are you just say you are friends and leave it at that and go on and go to somebody else? You understand? Go to somebody else. And one thing I've noticed when people talk about the talking stage or think about talking stage is people have this, or should I say most ladies have this thing that guys don't do talking stages. Actually, what I think is guys do talking stages a little bit differently from how girls do talking stage. For most guys, I'm not sure about this. I'm not too sure about this, but I think because I can't talk for most guys, I am just a guy. For most guys, I think the talking stage is kind of like the beginning stage of their relationship with you. For most girls, it is the beginning of the beginning. In other words, no, the beginning before the beginning. In other words, that thing they want to know before they get into it with you. But for most guys, it's kind of like, I'm getting into this with you, so I'll talk with you about it, that kind of stuff. And one thing I've seen with a lot of people and a couple of my own teenagers and stuff like that, when they come to me asking for advice and stuff like that, is most people feel pressure to just jump into a relationship when the other person is not willing to go through a talking stage. And also most people feel awkward to ask more than surface level questions during talking stage. Most people think talking stage is just find out what's your body count, how much do you earn, do you go to the gym, do you buy designer clothes, all those kind of stuff, like superficial, nice to know details, your favorite color and all that kind of stuff. What kind of guy do you want and stuff like that. Actually, I think that's an important question. What kind of guy do you want? What kind of girl do you want? All those kind of stuff, all those kind of stuffs. So the talking stage is actually not that simple as most people think, which at this point, find Presh Gaza on Twitter and Instagram. She's going to be doing a class on communication, effective communication in relationships, and how to resolve conflicts and all that kind of stuff. And seeing the stuff she's put out so far, I'll recommend this class to anyone who needs it, anyone and everyone. So if you're listening to this and you listen up to this point, I think you should go and get that class. Presh Gaza is spelled Preshgaza, in case you've been wondering since morning. Find her, look into her content. It's amazing. Trust me, it is sincerely amazing. Like top notch. Sincerely top notch. So anyway, what was I saying? Yes, talking stage is actually way deeper than most people think. And if you're going to be establishing any kind of relationship, you need a talking stage. You need a talking stage. You need to be able to determine whether you are going to be compatible with this person in friendship, or whether you are going to be compatible with this person not at all. Your parents had the talking stage. Every generation had their own version of the talking stage. Now, that's one thing you also need to notice. Not everybody has the same outlook towards talking stage. Not every culture, not every religious mindset has the same look towards talking stage. Talking stage doesn't have a generalized process. It's not like as if there's this manual out there for you to, look into with questions and everything and procedures. The first day, these are the questions you ask. Second day, these are the questions you ask. You give a third day break period. Fourth day, first period by 9 a.m. You ask him, how are you? What did you eat? No. Talking stage is basically just you finding out whether you're compatible with this person, either for a friendship, either for business, either for prayer partner kind of stuff, all those kind of things. You are basically establishing what expectations you want from that relationship. Not in bold terms. Usually it's more like as if you're carrying a survey out here, you're doing a questionnaire, and you are determining within yourself whether this relationship will be profitable in the short or long run. So a talking stage is needed for friendships, for business partners, for prayer partners, for for romantic relationships. A talking stage is necessary, because if you don't go through the talking stage, you end up having problems that you find hard to navigate. That's when you have an argument, and then the way the person acts in the argument, you're like, I didn't expect this from you. Yeah, you didn't, because you did not establish what kind of people they are and whether they meet your expectations or can, flow with your own principle. I had a fight with a best friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. I think that was last month, and sincerely, it was a total misunderstanding. I knew it was a total misunderstanding. He was going through a couple of stuff, and it was just dishing out emotions, like a chef. But here's the thing. For most people, even when they recognize that, oh, I'm not the reason for this fight or for the anger, they usually just, be like, but why would he pour out his emotions on me and everything like that. Fine, I think it's totally valid, but like, if you value that relationship, usually you want to mend things. And sincerely, when we fought, in my mind, I was like, you know what, freaking, well, we are going to fight 3 weeks. Even we deleted each other's numbers and everything, even though we had stored it in our brains. The hypocrisy, But here's the funny thing: the next day, I asked him, "We need to talk. Are you going to be hostile or not?" And we sat down, we talked, and everything. And the reason why we could talk is because I knew he was somebody who, even though he was stubborn, like I am, he wasn't stubborn to the point where he never accepts criticism, or he cannot recognize or accept fault, you understand, and all that kind of stuff. We talked, we realized, okay, I did something, my tone probably at this point could have been better and everything. You understand? You need to be able to know whether you can have that with that kind of person, because arguments are very important in relationships. They can make or break any kind of relationship. No matter what kind, arguments can break any kind of relationship, even if it's a one-sided relationship. So you need to know. I think talking stage majorly goes this way: determining compatibility with set of principles and everything, determining attitude towards conflict, and determining the rate of likability and potential of that relationship. I think talking stage helps establish those 3 things. So yeah, that's basically it. Okay guys, so that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for coming this far with me. Remember, whatever kind of relationship you want to establish with anybody, whether it's a friendship, a business relationship, prayer partners, church, whatever, romantic, you need a talking stage. A talking stage will help you establish the level of compatibility, the person's attitude towards conflict, and also the potential for that relationship. You understand? Potential for the relationship. So thank you very much again for hearing my opinions. If you agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, let me know. If you have a different perspective, let me know. If you have additions, let me know. You can always reach out to me via my social media. I am Daniel Briggs on Instagram and Twitter. You can also send me a mail. You can also send me a mail whatever time you want to. I'm altdanbriggs. Alt is ALT. altdanbriggs@gmail.com. You can send me an email whenever, wherever. I always reply. Thank you very much. And once again, please go to Preshgaza's page and look and apply for her course, her emotional course. Did I just call it an emotional course? I think it's something like that. Anyway, her course on communication and conflict resolution, because these are things a lot of us need. Many of us were not taught these things as we were growing up. We weren't taught these things in church or in mosques or in school. So these are things that we need now to resolve our conflicts in relationship, and to also help us be emotionally better at things. You understand? They help us mature a little bit with our emotions. So thank you very much once again. I enjoy feedback, so please reach out to me, DM me whenever, wherever. I'll always reply, taking my time. Thank you very much once again. This is Volatile Times with Daniel, and see you in the next episode next week Friday. Peace out.